Hey guys, I'm Daniel Markham. I'm the guy that wrote the domain model for domain modeling, and I was kicking around a problem in the last few days I thought you'd be interested in. A client came to me, we're talking about securing up a blog they had in WordPress, and of course WordPress is notorious for not being secure. And so the question they asked was, what's the least amount of stuff would we need to put on a blog so that we could still have a blog and it would still be secure? So what's a blog, right? Rich content, wide distribution, easy to use, and you can theme and customize it. I think that kind of covers it, right? So I started with that and ended up with this sort of uber minimalist idea of what a blog is. I thought you would be interested in taking a look at it. Okay, let's see what we got here. So here we go. I call it AirBlog. I have no idea if that domain's taken or not. If it is, I'm sorry. Just a demo, dudes. So it's got a list of stuff. It's the front page. I mean, what more do you want here? We got categories. You click on the categories, you see the blog entries that are part of the category. I thought about doing a drop down for like category author tag, but really for just the demo purposes, you got a list of stuff. The list has links to the articles. You've got a main theme, and then you can put whatever you want to put in the rest of the stuff. It's just HTML. So we'll click on one of these. Maybe this one. Yeah, and there we go. Here we have the exciting content of 3 for the road, and then it says the chicken clucks. This is the entry page. Same thing, right? Title, author, date. So far, I can probably tell you're pretty excited. You'll notice this is all running off my hard drive. Let me go back. Let's refresh this and try the first one here. Right. Okay, here we have something that's a little different. We have my first blog entry. I wrote this, and the dog barks. It was a dark and stormy night. This is good stuff. We have a picture of a kitten, and the kitten is floating off to the left here. We got a little cat, and this is starting to look more like maybe what you would want to put in your blog, links and various doodads or whatever. I think there's one I have with a whole bunch of crap I just kind of got from somewhere. Maybe it's the last one. Let's try this one. Yeah, so here we got a bunch of rich stuff, headings and lists and code fences and tables, and there's actually, and we still have the cat, and there's other cats, and stormtrooper abbreviate. It's all this is just a ton of stuff, right? So this is what you might think of being more rich content. Those of you who recognize what type of stuff this is probably know where I'm going with this, but hang in there. So there we have, I think we all would agree, is a blog. List of stuff. People can author stuff. Of course, you're probably asking yourself, how do I author stuff, Daniel? Well, good thing you ask. We go over to Airtable, which is this cool little program I found, and I've made some little tables in Airtable that has media, categories, tags, and entries. And to make your new blog entry, you just sort of go down to the bottom here, and you I think you pick a number, and I don't know, like this, and then you pick an author. I will be the author now. Yeah, here's my title. Here's my title. I like this. This is good. I'll pick some categories. This is pretty simple stuff. I'll pick sports. And then tag. I guess I should have a tag. I want the tag to be birds. As you can see, there's some really detailed sample data here. Don't want any media. Well, why not? Let's put the kitten in. I think I've got a kitten in here. Yeah, kitten. There you go, kitten. And I put in whether I want it approved or not and what the start date is. I will approve this because I love myself, and I will start this yesterday. Okay, so this allows an approval process. It allows scheduling stuff to run, posting ahead of time. I think that's about it. Like I said, I look through, and I've used WordPress for years. Heck, if I use any more than that, aside from forums and all kinds of page enhancement things. So as far as just entering stuff in, that's pretty much it. So I put this stuff in Airtable. I go back over here and I refresh my page, and then here's my title. That's my stuff, dudes. And then if I click on here, there I am. Here's my title. I like this. I can go back over here and I can say I like this. And the only thing I found I do not like so far is the fact that I wish this little box here was bigger because it's just kind of small for typing a blog entry in. I like this, you bozos. All right, and then I'll go, I don't know, this is good. And this is nice. Okay, and as you can see, I have italics. Okay, and then just tab out of that, and then I can close this if I want to. Go back over, hit refresh again, and yeah, pretty much a couple seconds. This is over a very slow internet connection, so isn't that really cool? I've got rich stuff. What was our list of stuff again? All right, rich content, wide distribution, easy to use, themable, and customizable. So I showed you how you can do existing entries. How you can do private preview. Basically, you just have a page that would be off to your side, off to the side for you to look at. I can do the auto publishing. I think you guys realize that. So images turned out to be a little kind of funky. Say I want to add an image in here. This uses Markdown, which is that's one of the big reveals. And if I want to do images, I got one here, don't I? Yeah, I think so. All right. Yeah. So go down here. And we at images, links, images. I can put a little minion picture in here. This is from the Markdown at GitHub example file, and then I'll just go down here. There we go. There we go. There's my image. Oh, I'm a happy person. I come here, refresh it, and there's my minion. Oh, he's a huge minion. You're probably thinking, well dang, every picture I want is going to be like this. I have to link to some external site. No, you do not. So what I decided to do was, as you entered in, you can enter stuff into the media table. And like I have a kitten here. That's a little picture of a kitten. And you can name it. I named kitten. And you can also put in all of your CSS styles here, which the users can either know or not know. Doesn't really matter. You can if you want. If you don't want to, that's cool too. Of course, it has an approved and start date. If you put in your picture and you put in your CSS styles, kitten here has, well, it's and this is all for Bootstrap, so I didn't have to rewrite the grid, or I've got thumbnail, rounded float, left, blah blah blah. So yeah, of course, add your own styles as well, since it's CSS. And I go over here. Oh, where am I at? So I want to add the link, the picture to the kitten. Kitten, come here, kitten. Now, how would I add a link to something stuck in a table back on Airtable? Yeah, see, that was one of the things that kind of hung me up. Well, the way you do that is you don't do it. But in other words, what you do here is in your little link field in your Markdown, you just type in kitten, and you let the dang computer worry about it for you. And so when the link goes to display, of course, there is no file called kitten. So the image will fail. Computer will step in and go back to Airtable, pick up the kitten picture for you. And that way you can add all kinds of pictures you want. And you can just have a blast with pictures. And as you add them, you can sort them as far as what you want them, float left, float right. You can add your styles and give them semantic names for your users to use, which is pretty cool. Now, if you were doing 40,000 blog entries, probably not a good idea. But if you're doing, the average person maybe does 100 a year or something, you're fine. All right, so here my little guy again. And it says minion, but it is in fact a kitten. And if I type stuff off to the right, the float left works wonderfully fine. So there you go. So now I have images in. Where are we at here? Image. Markup translate does the full markup stuff. I can also add all kinds of markup extensions because I'm just for now for the demo using Markdown IT. So there's a ton of Markdown stuff, or not. You can just type text in. Oh, graph tags. Yeah, so one of my questions was, well, dude, okay, this is fine. So you want to load stuff up using some sort of dynamic blah, 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 woohoo stuff. Well, how are you going to change your meta tags in your head, which is also a very good question. As you can see, this says, the title here is, here's my title. If I go up to the top here, it says, here's my title. Ooh, how did I do that? Well, It takes the author and title and I don't know, a couple other things, maybe excerpt, I think, and puts it in to your meta tag so your search engines can read it. I could also add more tags in the Airtable and have it automatically update the head. I'm assuming that the search engines are going to render the page and then read the meta tags. If not, it's not going to work. But I think that was probably done. They started doing that 10 years ago at least, so we should be fine. Okay, so it's meta tags. Forms, components. Well, forms is kind of a beautiful thing. You can either drop in JavaScript forms here if you like it, or you can link back to Airtable forms. Airtable has its own forming system that plugs right into its database, so your results would come right into the thing you're using to manage your data with. File uploads from submitters, same thing. You can do other, the world's your oyster here. Whatever you want to drop in here, you can. This just handles the part above, which is the rich content texture distribution. That's themable and customizable. Tags and categories you've seen. Okay, so let's take a look at the code. I know you guys want to see the code. So here's like the main page, and it's 94 lines of HTML, and there's really 53 of that is all just straight HTML pretty much. And then there's a Vue app down here, and Vue app gets the data and sticks it up here in the top. So when you go look at it, you've got all this is filled out by Vue, and this is your list done by Vue, Vue.js, and that all that happens in about, I don't know, 30 lines of code down here at the bottom, something like that. Not a lot. So that's the main page. Sorry, there's not more there. And then the templates. Templates are a little much more complicated. I guess I could say much more complicated. They're like 108 lines of HTML. And see, the Vue gets a little more interesting here because we had to check the images, and I had to do some other things like tell you the pretty format for the date, and just things wouldn't normally do. One of the here's the part of the code that takes the image we were just talking about and actually goes back to Airtable and gets it all fixed up. That was a hoot to write. It's really cool. JavaScript has some functional stuff in it. It's really sucky because if you're not careful, just like in functional coding, you lose track of the plot. So I made a lot of little intermediate points here. And you're welcome to look at this on GitHub. Okay, so there's your template, main template. Okay, how about the CSS? Well, CSS pretty much just, it's got Bootstrap stuck in there with about 5 lines of stuff. And I guess you would add more as you go along, but add it if you need it, don't add it if you don't need it. Didn't need Sass or less or any of that crap. Why would I want, if you want it, that's fine. But build process, ixnay, no build, why do we need a build process? How about the main JavaScript? Well, this is quite complicated. As you can see, ooh, look at all the stuff here. And basically, this is just a bunch of stuff I copied over. This is the various JavaScript libraries, Bootstrap, Markdown, Vue, things like that. So there's really nothing in there for me. There is an airdat.js file. I thought about showing it and talking about it while showing you a picture of a bunny or something because it's got my keys in it. But there's only like 40 lines of code in there. It just basically runs a RESTful hit against the Airtable API and pulls down the data using a query. There's nothing there any program hasn't seen before. It's a very small amount of stuff. Okay, so the one thing may have forgot to mention here, when we clicked on my first blog entry, we got the little thing here. It's all very nice, and it's a white background. And then when I clicked on 3 for the road, it is a gray background. So when you're over here in Airtable, I kind of skipped over this when I was entering stuff in, but as I enter new data in, I learned how to scroll. I have a template file. So for each of my entries, it has a preferred template it wants to go be displayed at. What this means is I can just drop new pages in my directory, name them whatever I want to, and then from the database side determine which pages display and which templates. It's very nice. This allows me to replace the design a little bit at a time. RMass, this is completely, the data is completely decoupled from the presentation. As far as I can tell, this is the closest it's come to what it's supposed to be in a while for me, at least. So anyway, the templates decouple allows designing on the fly. Okie dokie, back to our list. Everything, yep. Okay, so the recap: 100 lines of JavaScript, 100 lines HTML. It's fully skinnable. It uses templates. Uses no server. If you notice, everything I had was running locally. The data file currently goes to Airtable and pulls down the JSON. But in the future, it already has a toggle. You just switch the toggle over to file, and it'll get the same data off the local directory. What that means is, by switching one toggle, you can pick up it's like 5 files, and just carry them with you, and you have the current contents of the blog without any. That's why I didn't use the CDNs for the JavaScript libraries. So it's 5 lines of code, skinnable, no server. It's auto scaling because it's flat files that are static. You throw this thing on S3, and there's a way you can actually make it happen where you just check your latest design into GitHub, and the rest of it's magically handled free by Amazon, which is way cool. I'm going to hook that up next, I think. So auto scaling, one person could look at this on their laptop at home. A billion people could look at it. All I have to pay for is the CPU cycles to deliver the page, not the back-end rendering. And it actually has a backend, which is Airtable. People are already using Airtable. And Airtable's got a bazillion other things you can do: contact management, sales management, invoicing. There's a whole ecosystem back there. And when they use this, they're using the same tool they want to. They can hook their forms back in, and it's all good. What else we got? Client server standalones, 5 to 7 file deployment. Payloads 100K. I could probably get that down by the time you zip it up even less than that, which means it'll be even faster, run on people's phones, and run on slow connections. And then finally, it's offline and unhackable. It's hackable if you get into Airtable side and start adding entries in, but that's you hacking Airtable. It's not you hacking the blog. All right, so thought you'd like this. Is a pretty cool thing. I didn't expect it to fall out to be as simple as it was, especially with the auto scaling part on Amazon and the Vue. I would take this HTML stuff here and make components out of Vue, which would probably be your next step if you wanted to sort of start componentizing. But if you look at it, I mean, I don't know. See, you'd want a component for your header. You'd want a component for your article item. You'd probably come up with maybe 5 components for an entire blog, a minimalist design. But right now, I mean, I don't really need it, so I'm not going to do it. Good talking to you. Hope you like this little demo. It's been a fun little project to work on for a couple days, and I will see you on the internet.